Good evening, everyone. Today is January 6th in 2026. So I would like to update the stock market for today. Firstly, I would like to update on an adjustment of my selling point strategy. So a few days ago, we talked about we were going to sell on the first day when SAR red downtrend signal showed up. But apparently this is not really an accurate strategy given my too early of a sell on ASTS. So I made an adjustment to this selling point strategy. So now, firstly, I would see if the KDJ shows up a deadly crossing signal first, and then confirm with the first day of SAR red downward trend signal starts. So therefore, two criteria in total. So firstly, KDJ deadly crossing signal showed up, and then confirm with SAR red downward trend first day and sell on the closing price of that day. Because so we can actually give an example, right? So if you look at here, so let's find let's try to find the ASTS, right? So here, let's try to find ASTS. Okay, so the watch list, and let's see if ASTS showed up anywhere. So here, right? So you can see that we say that we sold, right? So we sold on this day, right? On this day. So this is Friday. So we sold it on Friday. The reason I explained that I sold that day is because of this SAR downward trend signal, right? And then this could be misleading, right? So now we are going to update the strategy for two signals need to confirm each other. Because you see that day, even though SAR red downward trend signal showed up, but you can see its KDJ is actually a golden crossing. So this is like a conflicting signal, right, of each other. So I was like actually in some hesitation, but I wanted to really implement, the principle of my selling strategy, right? So that's why I actually sold it out that day. But it ended up the next day actually went up even much bigger, and even today, right? Like it's actually two consecutive days up after we sold it on Friday. So therefore we would I would actually like to update this strategy. So, firstly we need to see a golden crossing. God, no, firstly we need to see a deadly crossing, right? And then so here, so we see that okay, it's actually a deadly crossing. And then if within 3 days, if there's a SAR red downward trend starts, then we would sell it. especially if the KDJ and SAR is having a conflicting signal of each other. Maybe this is not really a clear signal to sell, right? Because you see that now, like, after this growth, because after this golden crossing, right, and then the green upward trend signal shows up again, right? So therefore, you're gonna actually miss this like another almost like 40% upward trend if you sell at the conflicting signal. So, I mean, we can actually do some back testing to see if if this strategy actually is a better one than the last one, right? So see, we check, downward, no, deadly crossing signal here, right? And 1, 2, 3, okay, and then nothing happens, right? So beyond this point, we don't consider. And then this one, right? So a deadly crossing immediately the next day, right? The downward SAR signal started. So we're gonna sell on this day, right? So the closing price of that day, which is around $68. And then actually further down, 68. We're gonna sell at 68, right, that day. And then see downward, it actually went up further to like 61, right? 61 this day, and 68 this day, and then 65 this day, and so on until the next golden crossing started, right? And then so this one is past the test, right? And then the next backward. So this one, deadly crossing, right? No, but then like we wouldn't actually have any quantity here because we would have like sold in the previous day. So I guess better is we actually started from the beginning, right? Like so January, let's start it from January. That's January 2025, right? So this one is deadly crossing shows up, right? And then we don't see anything from, because it's in a downward trend already. But let's say that when we had any stocks on hand, so we would actually have stocks over here, right? We would have stocks started from here, and then we see, okay, the first downward trend, right? The first deadly crossing of KDJ, and then 1, 2, 3, right? And then this is so we would not actually sell anything on this day because this deadly crossing actually started after, right? So we would actually keep it. And then so this round of dip, we would actually still having the stocks on hand. And then up to here, we have another golden crossing. So we would actually add more stocks, right? So this round of dip from here, so this is 28. Up to this date, 28. So this round, like we don't actually miss out too much if we don't sell anything. So here we add more stocks, right? Now we have more stocks on hand. And then we have another another deadly crossing, and immediately the next day, right, there's the there's the downward SAR signal showed up. So we would actually sell everything here. And then we would be able to actually sit out this whole downward trend, which is great, right? And then we will have another buying opportunity here. We will actually load up again, and then we would see this one, right? This deadly crossing shows up, but then we don't. It actually did not get confirmed by the SAR selling signal within 3 days. So we are not gonna do anything. So on this whole upward trend, which is great. So we don't miss out this upward trend, right? We would not sell halfway on this upward trend, which is great, right? And then here, so another deadly crossing, we're not gonna do anything, great. And then we see another deadly crossing, and then 1 2 3, right? And then we're not gonna do anything even this downward trend signal showed up because it's beyond 3 days, right? And then we are not gonna do anything, and then we see and then we load up again here. So from here, closing price $25, and then up to here before 24, 23. So see, like we also don't really miss anything if we don't sell on here. So here we load up more again, right? And then it's this like huge upward trend that we are able to catch. And then here we see the deadly crossing, nothing happens after. So we're not gonna do anything. We're not gonna do anything up to here. So we see another deadly crossing, right? And then 1 2 3, boom, it's within 3 days. The downward signal shows up. We're gonna sell everything here, right? So closing price 46, right? We bought it here at 28, so it's like 70-80% gain, right? And so we sell here. So here is 40. We sell at 46, and then it got down to 43. Well, I guess we or 42. I mean, yeah, we gain something. And then we are gonna buy at open that this day at 48 again. And then a whole upward. And then here we see another deadly crossing. And then immediately this day, the red signal shows up. We're gonna sell everything. So we are able to actually, also sit out this whole downtrend again, right? This even up to all the way up to here. So I guess the strategy seems to be okay, right? So therefore we are updating our selling strategy for and then we have to actually so firstly we need to see the KDJ deadly crossing occur, right? And then we're gonna sell within 3 days from the KDJ deadly crossing. We're gonna sell within 3 days from the KDJ deadly crossing on the first day, when SAR red downtrend signal starts, and we sell at the closing price of that day. Okay, so yeah, okay, so that's my update for my selling strategy. See you next time.